as a non-fan. See, that doesn't say. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Here, how about this? Here's one thing for each side to be concerned about. How about that? I'll give you one. One for the Warriors, one for the Kings.
Let's go.
All right. Which one first?
Something to be concerned about.
I know. Which team?
Warriors.
Okay, Warriors first. And I'll just throw it out there. Anybody out there worried about Curry's minutes? Anybody out there worried about Curry's minutes and fatigue for a 35-year-old? Now, listen.
99 a game.
I'm just saying concern. I'm not saying he can't. Please let's not go there. I want to go. Steiny, I know. He's 35. He's playing 40 minutes a game. These are high up and down games. We saw last game. Didn't make good decisions down the stretch of a game.
Think he was fatigued?
I do, yes. I absolutely think he was tired at the end of game 4. So that's one thing I'm a little worried about. I'd be a little worried about Steph Curry's minutes if I were a Warrior fan. 888-957-9570. And for the Kings, I'm actually not worried about Fox's finger. The reason I'm not worried about Fox's finger is because it's one of those things where it's either going to be good or it's not. And if it's not, you're done. If De'Aaron Fox is 75% of De'Aaron Fox, the Kings can't win the series. So I'm not going to worry about the finger because that's going to take care of itself. But the number 2 worry for me, if I'm a Kings fan, is that our best player over the course of the regular season, which was Sabonis, according to John Dickinson, who saw 88 games, that our best player in the regular season hasn't figured out a way to imprint the series. That's my biggest worry for the Sacramento Kings. And I'll play the game with the Kings that I play with the Warriors a lot. You know, I get it. Monk's important. Herter. But it's about Fox and Sabonis the most. And Fox has been really, really good.
That he has.
And Sabonis has not been good enough to be the second best player on a team that's good enough to beat the Warriors in a playoff series. And so I don't think they can win if he keeps playing like this.
And I totally agree with you, no doubt. And I'm going to tell you this, Steiny, because we talked about it. Wherever you had him slotted, Fox and Sabonis or Fox, you would think right now, okay, Fox, what do we know? He's going to play with this finger. Let's just say he was, like you mentioned, 75%. Well, if Sabonis was pulling his weight, you still had some action because he would be able to take advantage of his matchups. What if I told you he leads the series, Sabonis, in turnovers with 15?
That is a stat that I'm a little surprised at.
And
wow.
They're coming to me at the most crucial parts of the game. When Sacramento just went chicken head, and the last 3 minutes of last game, they had fast break city, and he would fumble. Something's going on upstairs that I don't think can be rectified. But coming into this series, if you told me he was going to average 16 points, and all money ain't good money, Steiny, but 15 turnovers to lead the series, my goodness, that's not what they signed up for. And he's got 12 rebounds, but, man, he's playing 37 minutes, Steiny, and he's costing his team. And I know you can be like, Goo, that's a little too over the top. But, man, Sabonis has been bad.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure. I don't know if he doesn't have it in him. I just
did you like him at Indiana before you did? Okay, so you never were like, oh, cut that.
Did I like him in Indiana?
My wife says you want to go shopping. That's what.
805. Stein, that's why can't a 35-year-old be in as good a shape as a 25-year-old? We can, but skills diminish between that period of time, at least for most players. Maybe not for Steph Curry.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steiny. I mean, Steve Kerr's doing it because he feels like he can handle it.
Right. Well, here's the question. What do you do in this situation? How do you treat – see, this is why I know you're like, I can't lose tonight. But I don't know that you can treat this like a Game 7 if you're Steve Kerr.
So you go, wow.
I really don't. Because let's say you go all in and get beat, and all of a sudden you're looking at – and Steph played 46 minutes or 45.
Oh, you going
44.
Friday.
Well, now we got to play Friday. And then we got to play Sunday afternoon.
No doubt.
So – I get it. You got a big game tonight, But you can't just play this game without thinking about Friday and Sunday. Now, if it were Game 7, obviously, and you know, if you have a Game 7, obviously, and you have to play 2 days later, you just got to do what you got to do. But it's only a Game 5, and so you can't just play 5 guys 45 minutes just because it's the most important game of the year.
Well,
because there's going to be a more important game Friday.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Kerr, I know he has a great relationship with his players, but Steiny, there may come a juncture in this game where you try to take the chef out, and the chef might I'm not coming out. I know we've never seen that play out, but you almost got to protect the player from himself. But like you said, this is a pivotal game. Curry may not want to come out, and we see, guys looking back at the bench like I'm good. But, I mean, if he played 43 on Sunday in a Game 4, Steiny, I just don't see why that number. I understand what you're worried about, but what if there is no tomorrow? What if you're like, okay, I'm going to sit you a couple minutes, pivotal minutes, and then, you lose or they take advantage of you because he's out. Okay. It's like, well, then what were you saving him for?
Game 6. Saving it for Game 6. And here's the part that nobody wants to factor in. And sorry, but you have to. And Steve Kerr does. And it's this. It's called diminishing returns. It's called diminishing returns. And as great as Steph Curry is, he's not greater than every player who's ever played the game who can be affected by fatigue. And I don't care what anybody says. If you think, how many minutes did he play last game?
43.
If you think,
damn, Steph.
If you think there wasn't a correlation between Steph Curry playing 43 minutes and the last minute of that game and how he played, I think you're being blind. Right. I'm not saying I'm not saying he was mentally fatigued and it was the reason he called the timeout, and then he was physically fatigued, and it's why he missed the shot, and also the mental fatigue is why he took a bad shot. It's just, you can't tell me there's no correlation. You cannot tell me that.
And to me,
Steph Curry was gassed at the end of Game 4, and what happened? He called a timeout he didn't have.
That wasn't the worst blunder to me. Keep going.
He made another mental mistake by taking a shot at the absolute wrong time when they had a 4-second shot clock, game clock differential. And then the third thing is he missed the shot short. He missed it short.
Legs.
So all I'm saying about Steph Curry and his minutes is you gotta be careful. It's not as easy as he's just going to play 45. And if we lose tonight, he'll play 45. Yeah. I mean,
I think Kerr knows that, Steiny, too. And what about, cowardice, fatigue makes cowardice of all men. I love that one. But what about Steph getting put in the position to get trapped? Do you think that, he could have been Jesse Owens with the ball, Steiny, but if he was fatigued, which we think he was, he kind of put himself in that position to get trapped, to call the timeout. Because he didn't have much gas or petrol or
Yeah. Maybe he didn't have the explosion to go by
but
the guy on the left.
That shot was short, and I can't remember. That was a bunny for Steph. To where I was like, oh, my God, it was off soon as it left. But, man.
So let me get this straight. All that does not equate to fatigue.
Who said that?
T. Gino.
Come on, T.
Has Steiny ever given a positive Warriors take? Hit the pipe.
Well, that's different than,
Curry at the end of the game with 40-plus minutes is not the same as Curry with 34 minutes. Thank you, Zick01. I agree with you there. This is a take by a guy who doesn't know about aerobic capacity, okay? So, clearly, what percentage of our audience do you think truly believes that Steph Curry is immune to fatigue?
Nobody's not.
What do you mean nobody?
1%.
I bet you it's more than that.
How high would you go? It's under 10.
I don't know.
Give it 9%.
There are a lot of people out there that like Steph Curry more than the Warriors, and those guys believe that he's superhuman, and that he didn't realize that you don't realize you can't play in 48 minutes.
Can I say something to you?
Yeah, of course.
The Warriors. That game, technically, was the Warriors won it without it going down to the wire. But because they weren't buttoned up, they
were
allowed
tired.
it. Okay.
They were tired.
They allowed, for just a great ending. My question to you is, I just feel like a part of me, more than a part of me, feels like the Kings let one get away.
How? They were down,
but
they never had control. Who controlled that game most of the game?
I honestly thought, the pace was favored the Sacramento Kings. I thought that the whole game.
If a game's 100%, how much would you say the Warriors kind of were in control of that game?
Well, they were down at halftime.
I'm asking you.
So I'm going to go 45%.
See, I think they were. I think they were like 70%
but then
in control of that game.
They got on their horse, Steiny, and they got it to where it looked like it was about to be over. You'll give me that, right? The Warriors. They were down 9. Kerr calls timeout. Warriors go on a run. Bam. We got this. So I'm looking at it from that vantage point. Like, there was a part of me like, this game it's not going to get to the buzzer. My point to you and the masses, again, is I know we're like, did Sac get any confidence because the game was so close and Barnes had the opportunity to kind of put in a dagger? But in a crazy way, something keeps eating at me like, had the Kings won that game in that fashion, the way it played out, I just don't think the Warriors would have been able to pick up the pieces.
I disagree.
Okay. And that's why I'm like, damn, and I could be selling them short. They could come out like gangbusters tonight in Sacramento. But I just feel like that was the kill shot before the kill shot for the Warriors to have to answer questions about timeouts, about who's the responsibility. And for them to avoid that and still get that dub, I feel like Sacramento, that was the chance.
I don't.
Now, you talk to me at 9:30 tonight and they win, then you're going to be like, Goo, how you feeling? Well, I could make an argument, hey, they would have won the series tonight, if they somehow were to win. But that's kind of like, that's why I feel confident about, the series is talking to you. I can't blame the Kings, but damn, there was some good fortune that went your way for you to steal one. The Kings at the end with the timeout and the three-pointer after the timeout, the Curry missed shot going too early. Like, for a championship, a defending champion, those were a few blunders we don't see back to back.